Hey everybody, welcome back and thank you so much for taking the time to join me in our daily trade review. Midweek Wednesday, we had the Fed interest rate decision. So some volatility in the market. Really successful day within the small caps as well. Um, Plenty to go through. I actually was planning on taking the day off. We have a Magic event on Hello Good Game. There's the new Spider-Man set coming out, so very busy over there filming. But luckily enough, we still got some trades in this morning. So first on the list, ASTI announcing an agreement with advanced thin film PV energy storage capabilities. You know, whatever. We had an energy runner yesterday. They're gonna supply solar energy to a bunch of factories, so maybe that could be on the menu today. Looks like not done. Just kind of checking it out. News pop, but it does fade away and dies. It is what it is. So not all things can run forever. Um, but yeah, this was brutal, right? What a massive pump and dump, pop and fade, if you will. Things that we like to avoid, but still just trying to be aware of all the news that's coming out throughout the morning session and midday as well. Next up, we have CWD. Now, this is something we played the other day. We go back here. This was a massive runner for us the other day. 450% here, which is really impressive on this big old bar from $9 all the way up to $50. So this is a runner that we played just a couple weeks ago. So we know it's got the juice to get things done. And they do have some nice news, right? Sale of $16 million in convertible preferred at the money. So, selling some stuff, raising some cash, which was what drew it down, right? From that 50, right? They're like, oh, we're gonna sell some stock and raise some cash, but now that's done. And they've got a bunch of money from that, right? So this is nice, and they get the news pop, VWAP breakdown, and then the reclaim. We're in it a little early here on anticipation, because first we have the 50 holding up, right? So that's basically enough for us to want to get in, and then we see the 21 get reclaimed. First it rejected, then it reclaimed here, and then it became support here. All right, so that's secondary. We want in on this, and then instead of waiting for the VWAP reclaim, we get in it early, and then just use our stop of the swing low, right? So we'd be going from higher lows, right? Low, higher low, higher low, and the stop loss below this middle low confirms that from going, instead of being, a low, higher low to a lower low, we wouldn't want to be in that, right? But if it's a higher low, we can keep in it, so our stop just goes below that previous low, and just managing our risk. We had a 1-to-1, we had a 2-to-1, fades back, and then we stay in it for 3, 4, and 5-to-1, which is really, really nice. If you got the sale here, I mean, it just ticked. Maybe you didn't get a fill. Maybe you only got your 4-to-1 trade. But either way, still just an amazing entry, right? Really good. We set our risk to manage it. We have conviction because it's a previous runner. Yeah, just nice scalp. It does die away, which is brutal. I just hate to play things that die like this in case someone's happened to follow, and maybe they don't get their exits where they need to be, and it's dangerous. I would rather something run and then not only run but maintain that level and consolidate, instead of just give it back and fade away, right? So CWD 27% here, which is really nice, and then we have CDT, which is a similar play. It's the same pattern, right? So we have this nice news pop, VWAP breakdown, holding the 50, right? And then we reclaim, hold the 21 for expansion. It's a little bit choppier here on this, and not as much expansion, but it's the same thing. We hold the 50, VWAP reclaim, then we hold the 21, and then we make new highs, right? Into open, it did die, kind of holding the 200, or spike back up to pre-market high, even new high of day. And then so this is a little bit nicer, right? So this is, we get this movement, and sure, it fades away back down from $1.13 to $1 or 90 cents, but it's holding that level and could do something more tomorrow, right? So not only that, but if we look at it on the 1 day, right, we have this gap here that we can fill, right? There's this inefficiency in liquidity. Then we can transfer that intraday, right? So we have this first, the gap rejection, and then when we re-enter the gap, you can target the upper band, right? So we reject the lower band, break the upper band, retest the lower band, and then we try the upper band twice, which is really nice. So gap fill strategy here, working really, really nice. And then we have RELI. We didn't play that, but that's, how you would have played it. Quick pop and drop here as well. What was the news here? Completes initial Ethereum purchase. So, crypto, treasury. Crypto's not even doing well right now, so kind of just trying to stay away from that. 4,500 on Ethereum. It's holding, but I'm just personally not a massive fan of crypto. At least it is Ethereum as well. It's not like a meme coin. 70 cents to $1.14 is really good. It held structure too, like it held VWAP and just pushed for more. Once it breaks through VWAP, though, it's done. And that's why we use VWAP as a separation point between bullish and bearish structure, because we see how we use it as support. That's great, but here when we break through, there's none of that, and now it becomes resistance, rejecting, and then just unable to recover from there, bleeding down further, right? GRRR signed a 1.4 billion contract in Singapore for AI data center, which is aggressive, right? That sounds pretty good. Bigger company though here. That's something a little bit larger than we like to play with. And then just what a sell-off this morning. So massive news pop, and then literally round trip that came back. So aggressive, very volatile here in the morning. But if you could play that volatility, 17 to 20, not terrible. I mean, percentage-wise, I guess that's not a massive gainer like we typically like to see. But good news, might drive volume for multiple days. ATCH securing $3 million in financing, and this ran all day. And again, I was kind of busy filming other stuff today, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Reversal signal here in the morning. Then we get our key level, right? And then, there's not much volume here, but once that volume starts to pick up, then we have our entry, right? Easy, easy, easy. And just putting our stop loss below VWAP, basically, right? Scalp it up. 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, and our 5 to 1 even, right? So perfect trade. And this is what I prefer, right? Where you get in, you get all your exits nice, and then it keeps going, right? It keeps going, and then you're like, oh, I wish I would have, kept some runners, because, we sold our last share at like $1.13. This went to $1.80, right? So this is really what I'd much prefer to trade. Get in early on something good that continues to run, right? And then, it's an issue of scaling out rather than getting burnt, right? So you're always going to be a winner on something like this. Much, much nicer. Moving forward, GV. So this is the one that's like, we can make you live forever. This company traded it a long time ago. It halts up, and then on the open, right, we get this gap created, and then we are using our gap fill strategy, where we enter in on the gap with a stop loss below the gap, right? So you get 1, 2, 3 candles here, really nice entries with predefined risk. That's a good entry model for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's as good as it gets. What was this? 55%, which is really nice. And just a perfect textbook entry model here. Absolutely love that. And it's holding that entry, which is pretty cool. So let's see how this plays out tomorrow. Of course, we're all out of it by now, but maybe we find re-entries, right? Because as long as you can get in with an entry model you're comfortable with and you have predefined risk, then you're just focused on your hit rate of that specific model. So all good things there today. SPRC, just watching this. Massive spike, dies down, morning reversal, VWAP reclaim, but can't really continue from that. Can't break pre-market highs, unfortunately. No news here. And then we had that interest rate decision. So some volatility in the market, right? We go to our 1 day, right? It's, we've been basically cooking up to all-time highs in anticipation of the rate cut. The market's always forward-looking. So now that we've had it, maybe we can consolidate and get in on a trend retest. I don't want a reversal on the 1 day, but I would love to see, a test of the 50 EMA on the 1 day, which isn't that bad. It's like 640, 638. Anything more than that, we're looking at 600, which could form a reversal here. But I'm sure, we'd bounce it back up from that pretty quickly. Like, I don't see us even getting to the 200. Maybe we retest this gap. This is as far as I could possibly see us going. But a retracement, and then, maybe we can gear up for another leg, right? We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. These are kind of irrelevant. These are older levels. I'm going to get rid of these. I was doing that when we were in this tariff drop here. And we timed it as perfectly as we could, and then we had a reversal signal, and it's literally been running ever since then. So as far as the long-term portfolio goes, nothing's really new there. I keep scaling out, looking for that retracement so I can comfortably scale back in, and we'll let you know when that happens as well. So there's nothing really new on that front, just chilling. We are swinging GameStop currently in our long-term portfolio. If you're interested in some of that, we can go through that as well here in a different video. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching. Have a magical day, and I'll see you soon in the next.